Okay, so we are in Caliente, Nevada. This is about 2 hours north of Vegas. We're out here for I'm doing a 7-hour race in the morning in like 5 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours. Yeah, we just parked at the trailhead where the start line should be. Got a really good spot. There's only like 2 other cars here, so that's good. I had to leave my childhood best friend's going away party, which he threw together really last minute, but I had to leave his party very early in order to drive the 2.5 hours to get here. So hopefully this is worth it, and that's a bummer that I had to go. But I'm gonna see him again. He's in town for until our other best friend's wedding. So that's pretty cool. But for right now, I'm going to try and just get some sleep and try and rest as much as possible. It's gonna be a very long day tomorrow, and I'm bringing you guys along with me. Let's do it. Okay, it's the morning. Getting some tape on my legs to make sure my calves and ankles hold up. But I'm going to get all this on, and then we're going to walk down and see where the start area is, and to pick up bib and whatnot. So, very exciting stuff. Good news was I won, but the bad news was it was a race with me, which is also good news because then it meant I wasn't having to like ego run after anybody or in front of anybody. So, it meant that I could just purely use it as a training run, and that's what I did. Oh, I got some thunder. But this is kind of the area I'll be. So I'm gonna try out this like handheld thing for the GoPro here, and I'll carry you with me a couple laps every once in a while. Kind of check in with it. It's something to talk to. But I am the only person in the 7-hour wave at all, so I've already won. But people are really nice, and they're gonna let me set up a little aid station at the start finish line, so I'm into that. Other than that, nothing left, but I have 15 minutes to go. So we'll do it. Okay, checking in. We are my watch moves again. We are 6.73 miles in. I just started the 8-mile loop and trying to settle into my all-day pace. So I'm walking. It's not super steep incline. Sure, my heart rate stays low as much as I can. Pit is already confusing for me because I've never done it. So, yeah. Well, it's going as well as it could be. I finished those first 2 3-mile loops at about an hour. So that was like right where I wanted to be with those. And then, this will probably be closer to an hour and a half, an hour 40. But I'll bank a good amount of time done So, we'll see what happens. Also, it looks like the rain is about done. So, I can ditch this jacket at the next pit because it was going that way. And that sky is pretty clear now. It's all over there now. So admittedly, it's really hard to go this slow, knowing I can go faster right now, but I don't know how fast I'll be able to go in another 5 hours. So, I mean, it sounds like these kind of just have to reiterate that I'm training for an event that is almost 4 times as long as this. And I just need to get used to taking it easy for a lot of it, but keep moving. I keep saying you can walk 50 miles at WTM as long as you don't stop moving. If all else fails, that's what I'll do. So I'm gonna try and practice this now. Try and think ahead of time of what I want at my aid. That way I can just grab it and go. But at least you get pretty sick views. I think the rain's rolling back in too. But yeah, it's just a lot of managing my own pace and self-expectancies. All right, we're back on the 3-mile course. This is my 4th time on this one, so I've already done the 3rd one. And at 3:46 so far, feeling good. I'm gonna take the 2nd lap a little bit easier, and then we got one more 8, and whatever I got left, and one more of these laps. Just hit 29 miles, like almost 6.5 hours in, and yeah, this is gonna be the last lap. And I'm okay with that. I didn't really know how I was gonna feel about anything when I started this, but I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with where this ends. I figure at this point my body just needs to get used to moving for this many hours, and the difference between a slow jog and kind of a brisk walk are probably like little to none. So this is how I'm gonna keep it. Come all the way through, and I'm gonna be proud of it. And then I'm gonna have a beer. Nice, cooled, Athletic Brewing. Checking in again. It's becoming increasingly more likely that I will not get to that last 3-mile loop, which is okay. I wasn't dead set on doing it, and I'm tired. So there's probably about an hour left. I stopped my watch at some point, but the time still keeps going. So I think I started a couple minutes after 7. So I've got maybe an hour. I still got like 3 miles here. And if that gets me to 30 on my watch, I think that's good. Like, I don't know what more trying to gun it at this point is gonna do me. I think I've gotten any adaptation that I need to get from this so far. I get pushed pretty hard in the middle there. Much harder than I should have. But now I know. Even if it seems super duper easy, it's probably too fast. So I'm just gonna enjoy walking uphill, jog the downhills and flats. When I get back, I'll drink a ton of water. kind of reassess. And tons of ice water. I've been singing this song for a couple minutes now. Just ice water. It's gonna be so nice water when I get some ice water. I just do that over and over. Okay. I'm done. I ended off with 30.4 miles on my watch. 29 and change officially, but I mean, whatever. Still about 7 hours of movement, which was the goal for today. Now I'm in the back of the van. I'm going to take a nap, get some air flowing. There we go. I'm gonna drink one of these. If you're trying to get some, maybe there's a discount code in the description below. Who knows? Other than that, I'll see you on the drive out. Woo! Got my hair wet, got my legs wet. Took off the tape. Oh, it's looking beautiful. Took like a 20-minute nap in the back of the van after the race. It's currently 3:30, so maybe longer than that. I'm feeling my alarm's gonna go off any second now, because that's how it works. But I'm driving back on this rickety old dirt road. It's only like a couple miles, but it's gonna take like 10 minutes, so it gets a little dicey. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, here's the dicey part. A little water crossing here. It's not deep from what I can tell. But you gotta go slow, you know? Just gotta take your time. Oh, it's not deep at all. Yeah. Just don't want to get stuck. And awesome. We're through it. Getting all muddy underneath there now, so it's fine. Keep going down this here dirt road. This area is kind of cute. A little ranch, something here. It's really nice. It's 75 degrees. You see that? Which is, can't beat that. How old did I just sound? A little rickety back here. Excuse me, there is a Radio Shack here. Why is there a Radio Shack still in existence? It's back there. This town is so tiny and quaint. Everything's like no more than 2 stories. Not in any tall buildings. We got a casino. It's also a restaurant. Got a post office. JJ fast food restaurant. Shrimp basket. Alright, we got P Mountain over there. That's for Pioche. Part of Nevada is very strange. There's also kind of cool, but I mean, there's like an abundance of American flags, and you know, makes me nervous. So, I'm trying not to stop anywhere. Just get out of Dodge. It's the next day. I made it back from Caliente, no problem. It took me like 2 hours to get back into cell service, so the entire time, that whole drive, I was just like living off of saved playlists and downloaded podcast episodes. But back today, I got everything kind of going. I'm doing laundry. I'm gonna sit down and start editing some videos. I think I have to get done the Spartan, West Virginia trip today, so I'm gonna try to do that. Hopefully that's up by now. Having another athletic brewing. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys. I mean, they gave me this hat at the race, and figured, sure, I haven't washed my hair. Might as well be a hat day. But I did kind of want to go over kind of how I'm feeling today and like what my full intention was for that race. So today I feel pretty good. A little sunburnt on the face and arms. A little bit of fatigue in the legs. Obviously, I'm super hungry, which is fun. I love doing that. But other than that, I feel pretty good. Like, I was way more beat up after West Virginia because there's a lot more than just running going on in a Spartan race. So but I feel like that was a good lead up towards this, because this was just pure running the entire time. Well, running and or hiking. But my goal with that 7-hour race was to just find the pace for World's Toughest Mudder in November. And that's 24 hours. And I hope to just be able to at least walk through that entire thing. Like, I want to run as much as I can, but I want to have a realistic expectation of what I can get done in 24 hours. And I think 50 miles is pretty realistic, considering I just did 30 in 7 hours and walking the most of the last 8-mile lap. Side note, that last 8-mile lap was the thing that killed me. I should have just done the 3-mile if I had really tried to go for mileage, but I feel like getting the elevation that was in the 8-mile loop, which was considerably more than the 3-mile, would be an advantage in the long run. So that was the thing I had to keep telling myself in the 7-hour race, was that I am not here to try and set any kind of record or PR or anything like that. I'm only getting ready for World's Toughest Mudder at the end of the year. So that means I just have to make sure that I know how to pit, which I got much better at later on in the race, that I know how to change my shoes and socks, and I know how to move and eat at the same time, and I know kind of when to push, when to hold back. It's mostly holding back. During that last lap, I walked way more. Every uphill was a walk, and I had to make sure that my mental game was on point there. I had to kind of just make sure that I could smile every once in a while, because it was in a very nice area, but if I didn't do that, I would have worried about getting some of that negative self-talk coming in, like, oh, if you can't do this kind of mileage in this kind of hours, then what's the point? But I know that I didn't give it my all on purpose, and that, I think, was the point. And not hitting, I ended up with 30.4-ish miles in just under 7 hours. But I decided to not go out for a final lap, even though they would have let me go past the time, because I didn't think that getting to a true 50K was like gonna feel any different from my body. Maybe worse, I don't know. But my body knows that it was moving for 7 hours. It doesn't know the difference between 30.4 miles and 31 miles. It doesn't care. And I figured, you know, that was the point. So I feel good about this, and I feel like I can do these kinds of events, and I'm excited to, and I want to do them more often because I'm excited to see what I can do in these certain kind of different style events. Not so much a distance event, but like a time domain thing, if that makes sense. And I'm excited to tackle this 50K in October, and I'm excited to get into World's Toughest Mudder in November. And then, you know, I've already got big plans coming for next year. So all in all, I think this is a very successful race, and I thought it was pretty good.